Okay, so today we're going to take it a little, just a little bit further. Yesterday we used order of operations to simplify an expression, so we're still going to do that, but we're first going to start with substituting. So your homework today, or the assignment for today, is going to be to do 2-92 in the book, and I'm doing letter F. So we start with an expression. Notice this is an expression because there's no equal sign. And then we're given values for X, Y, and Z. And so the very first step we have to do is we have to substitute those values into this expression and then find the value of that expression. So wherever I see an X, I'm going to plug in -2. So when I go to substitute, I would plug in -2. And I have an X here as well. And wherever I see Y, I'm going to plug in, down here. So -3. And then wherever I see a Z, I'm going to plug in a 5. So my first step when I'm simplifying these, not solving. Solving is for equations. Simplifying is for expressions. First step is I'm going to substitute the values in. When I substitute values in, I like to use parentheses to just keep them separated. So I'm going to rewrite the expression with the values in there. So -5 squared, parentheses around it, times 1 minus 2 times -2. And you could do brackets if you wanted, or just double parentheses. And then in the denominator, I'm going to have -3 minus -2. This is why these parentheses become really important, so you keep things separate. All right, when we have a division problem like this, it's really, there's grouping going on. So we start with the numerator or the denominator and then follow our order of operations. And then at the very end, we divide. So just because the denominator is easy, I'm going to start with the denominator. So here's my second step. Seeing as I'm starting with the denominator, the numerator stays the same. So I rewrite all that. So -5 squared, 1 minus 2, parentheses -2. That's still the numerator. And -3 minus -2 is the same as -3 plus 2, so that becomes a -1. Okay? And notice I put a bracket on the step that I did first. All right, so my next step now is I'm going to tackle this top part. I'm going to tackle the numerator. Start in the parentheses because that's what order of operations says to do. And then inside the parentheses, I have to follow order of operations, so I'm going to multiply these two together. The -5 squared stays the same, 1, and then 2 times -2 is -4. I kept those in a parentheses, all divided by -1. Okay, staying with my parentheses, I am now going to move this up a little bit. So I'm going to take 1 minus -4. So again, I still haven't done anything with the negative parentheses 5 squared, so I rewrite it. 1 minus -4 is +5 because subtracting a negative is adding, all over -1. Okay, so my next step now, I have to tackle my exponents because parentheses then exponent. Now we talked about this negative on the outside in the Google Meet yesterday. That's going to stay there. It's really saying take the opposite of 5 squared, which is 25. And I'm going to keep my 5 in parentheses. I'm going to multiply that in the end. Okay. All right, so I have my next step now is to take -25 times 5. Negative times a positive is negative, so that's -125, all divided by -1. Okay, all right, and my final step here now is to actually divide this out. So a negative divided by a negative is a positive, which gives me a positive 125. Okay, so what I just found out is that the value of this expression right here, if x is -2, if y is -3, and if z is 5, the value of that expression would be 125. Okay, so your assignment for today is going to be doing 2-92 from the book. I'll ask you a couple questions for answers. Again, if you're having any issues, like just email me, ask me, text me, whatever you need to do. All right.